Hi there, Carla here with Crochet CJ episode 59. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a mom and a wife and a midwife, and I'm a born-again Christian, and I love people enough to tell them that. Today we will jump right in with finished objects. I finished the Unending Love baby blanket. The pattern is from Shandy Agee at Expression Fiber Arts. It is a paid pattern. And so it's got this cute little border all around it, and then it's got like a pattern repeat all the way down. It has like stockinette and seed stitch and stockinette and garter stitch. Anyway, I had just enough left to make a little tiny Ross hat to match it, so that's fun. That's for one of the young ladies I work with who's having a baby. The yarn I used is Lion Brand Ice Cream Big Scoop in color Parfait. It is a 3-weight. It's 284 grams with 1,117 yards. It's 100% acrylic. And then the next baby set I made, I work with a lot of people who are baby bearing age, and they're all having babies. So this is my own design, basically. I just decided I was going to crochet this. I just love this yarn. It's so soft and velvety feeling. So basically I did a chain, and then I double crocheted all the way across the chains. And then I did some fillet across with double crochets, another row of double crochet, fillet, double crochet, double crochet. And then I half double crocheted the rest of the blanket to the other end, where I repeated what I started with so it will match. And so it's just a nice little matchy blanket. Anyway. That took like 2 skeins of this yarn, and so I had some left, so I made a little hat, which I also did double crochet and fillet and half double crochet. So that's fun. And then I had some more yarn left, so I made some baby booties. And again, these are all I just crocheted them, okay? I didn't use a pattern, I just did it. This I started with a magic ring and did like 6 single crochets, and then I did 2 double crochets in each one of those, and I just kept doing the 12 double crochets until I got about here, and then I just went back and forth with about 3 rows of double crochet, and then I double crocheted another 2 rows to make the little ankle part. Okay, so I didn't write down any of this stuff. I will, and I'll probably post it on my Crochet CJ Facebook page once I get it done, because it'll probably be Word documents or PDFs, and I know there's probably a way to share those on here, but I don't know. Anyway, I don't charge for my patterns because, hey, they're my patterns. I don't have anybody test them. I don't have anybody proofread or edit the instructions, so you're kind of on your own. Okay, I try to make them really easy to understand and stuff, but it's just something fun I do, and like I said, they're not complicated either. I also did a Ross hat, and I used the Premier fruit rolls in dragon fruit. Is that not cute? So I like to make a nice long slouchy hat, okay? So you can either have a slouchy hat, or you can roll up the brim, and your ears would be a little bit warmer. Anyway, I like to make them long and slouchy, and so yeah. That particular yarn is 100 grams, 174 yards. It's a 4-weight. It calls for a US size 9 knitting needles or 5.5. I used an 8 or 5 millimeter because it's what I normally use for my 4-weight hats when I make a Ross hat, and that is 100% acrylic. My next make was a quilt. So I had a great grandbaby born this week. I have bonus grandchildren, okay? And so my bonus granddaughter, oldest one, had a baby this week. And so I made this honeybee quilt. Isn't that cute? The quilting pattern I call the bee line, because basically it's just kind of lines of how a bee would fly around, right? When they're chasing you and trying to get in your hair. No. But you can see it's all honeybee fabric. Basically, I had some 5-inch squares in a charm pack, and then I had some 2.5-inch strip jelly rolls. So I just cut those to fit around my 5-inch squares, and then I just did 4 across the top and 5 down. I used Minky for the back. I don't know if you guys know what Minky is. It's really soft. And so you can kind of see my pattern, my quilting pattern a little bit better there. You know, so it's just like, I also call it my vine pattern. So there you go. I'm not a professional quilter, okay? I make quilts because they're fun and they're beautiful and they make very practical gifts. You can ask Mary Todd in Ireland. I am all about the practical. I like the practical. I'm kind of out of the point of having dust catchers around my house, but I like things that you can use. Now, I say that and then I make things like amigurumi. But the next thing I did, again, I just made up that pattern. I bought the fabric actually at Tuesday morning. Because sometimes they have charm packs and jelly rolls. So that's where I bought it. The next thing I did was another baby set, but this is a hunter's cap. Look at this little Elmer Fudd hat. I love this yarn camo. I love this yarn orange. It's just so cute. And then it also has a little vest, again with the orange. This is Bernat Super Saver sea green. Super Value, sorry. Super Saver is Red Heart, not Bernat. And then this is just yellow Red Heart. And then there is a pair of camo pants. And there is a shotgun, okay? Okay, I know. Just ridiculous, the things that we make for people. Anyway, and to make it stand like this, it has a plastic straw in it, because that way if the baby decides to chew on it while they're doing the photo shoot. I did have an orange stick in there, but it's wooden and I didn't want to leave that in there. So I took that out and I thought, oh, I could put a straw in there. It's actually a bendy straw, so it may bend at some point. But anyway, you have to get the whole effect. Well, here, let me show you the picture I took to give you the whole effect. We have a baby doll that we use at work for practicing maneuvers and things for deliveries and stuff. And so he got to wear the outfit. And then that's what the little outfit looks like, just kind of laid out. Anyway, that was fun. The patterns I used, so the vest and the shotgun shells were one pattern that I got off Etsy from Melody's Makings, and it's a paid pattern. But it didn't include the hat, even though the hat's pictured in the pattern thing. It's a separate pattern. Okay, and I'm cheap, all right? I thought, I'm not going to pay double just to get the hat, okay? No offense to the people who make those patterns, but I thought that as a set, it should have come as a set. Because, you know, last year I did or the year before last, for this particular young lady who's having a baby, I did the fisherman set. I'm sure you guys, may remember that. And that's the pants, the camo pants that I made for the hunter set. I used the pants pattern off that because the pattern I had didn't have pants or anything, and I thought it needed pants for the photo shoot, right? Because her husband was like, oh, you remember that midwife that made you the fishing set for our first little boy? So they found out they're having another little boy, and he's like, could she make a hunting set? So I said, okay. The hat is from the Crochet Crowd. It's a little baby hunter's set. Like I said, the yarns are, I love this yarn, camo, orange, and brown. Loops and threads. The black is loops and threads, impeccable. And then the Bernat Super Value is the sea green that I used for the shotgun shells. The pants were from a pattern by Ava Girl. I got that off of Etsy also when I did it, and it's the baby fishing hat set. Pant set. Anyway, that's really cute. And then I finished my husband's quilt, okay? So that quilt pattern is from Tributes and Treasures. The name of the pattern is Wheatland. So Tributes and Treasures, it is 12 vintage inspired quilts made with reproduction prints. I bought this fabric, and it's Kansas Troubles. They make Kansas Troubles prints. That it's kind of a line that they make. It's from, I don't remember what company that makes it. Anyway, one of the fabric companies. I know that's terrible. I'm not as good about remembering those as I am yarn companies. But the fabric, I bought the kit from Craftsy back before it was Blueprint. It's now Craftsy again. But back when they sold quilt kits, I used to buy quilt kits from them because it would come with all the fabric and a pattern. I didn't particularly like the pattern when I got it. So I pulled this pattern out of this book and did it. And suffice it to say, it was lots of little, so like you made 1.5 inch, 4.5 inch strips that were 1.5 inches wide and in these different colors, and then you would sew them together, cut them apart, and then put them back together so they form the checkerboard. And it's a really big quilt. I can't hold it up enough for you to see the whole quilt. And the stitching, the quilt stitching I did on it was just meander stitching. Meander is just basically you just make meandering lines that don't cross over one another. You can also do the same thing in a smaller pattern if you have a quilt that you need to have more stitches in for your quilting because it's smaller, because you've got, you know, you just want to do it smaller. And that's called stippling. It's your little quilting lesson for the day. Yes. And I did them on my beautiful Grace Cunique 21 quilting machine that has been such a blessing to have a new quilting machine that quilts so well. So that's been exciting. So that's all my finished objects. Joys in progress. I'm going to be working on some more quilts. In fact, I spent most of this afternoon looking through quilt patterns. It's my husband's birthday. He wanted to go golfing, so we went golfing this morning, and then we went and had lunch with my sisters. Came through, and we went and had lunch with them for his birthday. They bought him lunch. That was really sweet. Well, they bought me lunch too. They just love me. I have good sisters and good brothers and good. I have lots of family that I love very much. So we did that. By the time I got home, I really didn't feel like starting a project. Plus, I was hot. Oh, it's so warm here. By the time we got home, it was 101 degrees outside. Whew. You know, granted, I live in an air-conditioned house, okay? So I'm not hot anymore. But when I got home from the golf course and I didn't even cool down through lunch, and I'm sitting in an air-conditioned car driving home and I'm still like sweating. So I took a cold shower, as cold as I could take without, you know, shocking myself into a, you know, rapid heart rate or something. I guess it would shock myself out of a rapid heart rate. Yeah, vagal response. Anyway, took as cold a one as I could to cool off, and I was still kind of heated and stuff. So I just was like, I put on like my coolest sundress that I don't wear anywhere but around the house. Okay, I don't go out in public in a dress with no straps and, you know, stuff like that, just because I don't body shame anybody who is comfortable in that. I am not. So I just wear it around the house. Anyway, that's another story. I did eventually cool off, obviously, because I got the t-shirt and, you know, I won't show you my cute little, they're not even yoga pants. They're probably pajama pants, but I wear them to exercise in. I wear them to walk in at the gym. Anyway, all of that to say, I was just too warm to start a new project, because I was actually going to cut out a quilt this afternoon, but that didn't happen. And so I sat down with a stack of quilt books. I know the quilt I'm going to start next. I already have the pattern for it. I'm ready to go with it. I just have to get it cut out and get it sewn. But I do have several other quilts for people that I want to get made. My kids are probably going to get their quilts for Christmas, so I'm not in a big hurry. If you watch this, kids, sorry I spoiled your Christmas surprise, but yeah, you don't care. You know, if I'm done with it before Christmas, you'll get it then. Anyway, I want to get theirs done. And then I have some amigurumi projects that I want to work on. Yoda, Chewbacca. I've got some dinosaurs I need to make. let's see, that's about it for that. But I do have a sock project, a knitted sock project going. I always have a little pair of socks in my Mischief managed sock bag that, you know, goes on trips and things with me. I haven't had to be in waiting rooms or on trips recently, so it's just kind of been sitting there. So I did pull that out to work on when I'm watching TV or with my husband or whatever, because I just can't sit and just watch TV. I have to be doing something else. So it's either knit, crochet, or goodness knows I don't want to do this, sit and play games on my phone. Okay. I got rid of all the games on my phone except for Color Happy. And the only reason I still have that Color Happy is because I paid for it. Like $3 or something, but I paid for it, so I'm keeping it. And I do still color pictures on it occasionally when I run out of things to work on, but not very often do I run out of things to work on, because if you could see below where you are looking right now, you would see yarn and fabric and, oh my goodness. You know, it's kind of like lions and tigers and bears, oh my. It's yarn and fabric and cricket, oh my. Lots of projects. Acquisitions. So I did a little Hobby Lobby clearance shopping. Speaking of Yoda, you know, I did really good this time, because the first time I went to Hobby Lobby clearance, I lost my mind and I filled a cart to overflowing and bought all this yarn, which was perfectly lovely yarn. I still have some of it. I still have the Chic Sheep that I bought that they had on clearance, because that's some great Red Heart yarn, right? Marley Bird. And I still have some of the other stuff from that purchase several years ago, but most of it I've given away or used because I realized there were things I was never going to use really. So I'm trying to be more purposeful in when I buy fabric or yarn, that I have a specific project in mind and I'm not just buying it, you know. So I limited myself. I went in and I really wanted some of the hand dyed, and so I went in a couple of times, and the second time I went in they had just started marking down and they had a bunch of hand dyed marked down. So I thought, okay, so man, I'm just loading my arms up. I didn't take a cart because I didn't want a cart full, right? And I realized, number one, I have so much yarn in my arms, so many hanks of hand dyed yarn, that I'll never make it to the front, okay, because they're gonna all fall on the floor. The other thing I realize is I probably have $200 worth of yarn in my hands, and I don't need it. Okay, it's beautiful, it's lovely, and it's such a bargain when they put it on clearance, because Hobby Lobby doesn't mess around. When they clearance something, it's 75% off. And I'm sorry, Michael's and Joann's, but 10% off or 20% off, that is not clearance. That's a sale, okay? It has to be at least 50% off for me to think it's clearance, okay? And I know, maybe it's because I'm cheap, or maybe it's because I spent 10 years in retail and I realize how ridiculous it is when you knock off 10 or 20%. Anyway, Hobby Lobby didn't mess around, 75% off, awesome. So I said, okay, so what I'm gonna do is limit myself to $50 worth of the hand-dyed. And then I did pick up a couple of hanks for some friends. And then I said, if there's anything that I need to like make my amigurumis, that would be great. I would get that. So they actually had this Yarn Bee Lush Loft. And this is the olive color, which I thought would be great for Yoda. And this is the sand color, which I thought would be great for part of Yoda's robe. And possibly on Chewbacca, because it has a little bit of a halo to it. It won't hurt that Yoda has a halo. He won't care. Anyway, this was regular $5.49 for $1.37, and it's 100 grams, 142 yards, 100% nylon. So I thought, you know, it's a number 4 weight. I thought that would work great for my amigurumi. So I got 4 of each of those. And then, sorry, I got to reach back over here. Made this video once, had to completely destroy, delete it because I hadn't put everything in my reach and it was just really a mess and I didn't even want to show it anymore. So I just deleted that first one. So this is, I have a friend who really likes speckled yarn, and this is authentic hand dyed. This one is Frosted Galaxy, gorgeous. And this one is Blue Vapor. So she really likes speckled yarns and she makes socks, and I thought these are 100 gram hanks, that'll be great for socks. They are 100% superwash merino wool, and They are 100 grams, 400 yards each. So I thought she really liked those. And they were regular $14.99 on clearance for $3.74. Okay, yeah. It was really hard to resist not buying all of the hand-dyed yarn, right? And then my other sweet friend actually was, I had her on video phone with me. I'm like, you look at this yarn, tell me if there's anything you want. And she saw this and thought it was beautiful. And I don't know, can you see the speckle in it? Anyway, this is more, it's called November Sky is the color. And this is 99% superwash merino wool, 1% metallic polyester. It's 100 grams, 420 yards. And so it's like a sparkle sock. Anyway, I thought, she said she liked that. So, and then I thought I bought all the same color, but I realized as I was doing the first video that I deleted that I did not. This is Chunky, hand-dyed Chunky, and I thought that I had 5 hanks of the electric color. I don't. I have 4 hanks of electric and a hank of Floral Frenzy. But you can kind of see how I thought they were the same one because they were on the same, you know, little hanger. That's okay. I think this will fit right in with these other hanks and it will be fine. The Chunky is 100% superwash merino wool, but it's 100 grams for 110 yards. And so that's why I got 5 of those, because I thought I can make a hat and cowl set or something. And then those 5, and then I got 5 more. These 5 are sock yarn. I'll probably make a shawl or something out of them. This is called Roasted Pepita is the color, but I just love that bright green. I have a thing about that neon electric green. I don't know. I have a thing about green, period. I love that olive green. I've got some greens that I just, oh, they're just gorgeous. Anyway, this is the same as my other sock yarn. It's 100 grams for 400 yards, 100% superwash merino wool. So that is my yarn acquisitions that I've had the last couple of weeks. Sorry while I crinkly put those away. Fabric. You guys want to laugh at me? You want to laugh at me? So somebody in one of my Harry Potter groups on Facebook said, oh, I found this fabric and it's so cool. So this is like movie scene fabric. You see Harry Potter and he's flying here and he's... Anyway, I got 2 yards of that because when you order online, you have to order at least 2 yards. This was from Joann's. So I had a coupon for 50% off 1 cut of fabric. And I wanted 6 yards to back a quilt because I'm going to make myself a Harry Potter quilt someday because I have lots of Harry Potter fabrics that I'm going to make a quilt out of. So I wanted something to back it with, and I thought, oh, 50% off. And you could buy 2, 4, 5, or 10 yards. So since I couldn't get 6, I got 10. But it's the books. It's the book covers. I know it's the American book covers, but it's from America. So I know that the ones in the UK are different. And I would really like to have a set of the UK books because they're different names and things like that. And I think it would be cool to read the UK version books, but I don't have. And that's probably something I'll never get because, you know, I have the American ones. I don't need those, right? So there's that fabric. And then for my birthday, we went to the Cotton Cottage, which is a quilt fabric shop in Claremore, Oklahoma, which is the town that I work in, the city I work in. And it's about 12 miles from the city where I live. And so this is actually Kansas Troubles also. And, you know, I want to say it's Moda. It is Moda Fabrics. How about that? And so the other that I made David's quilt out of, sorry, my husband's quilt out of, is Moda Fabrics also. Now this one is Kansas Troubles, Maple Hill by Kansas Troubles. So they have different names for the actual, but it's all Kansas Troubles. And no wonder I like these colors. They're so similar. But see, like, This is the same print as this, and it's got these different colors in it. I've got this one. I think that may be the only one in that print. And then I got, nope, that's the same print as that one. This one is the only one in this print. I love this color, though. It's kind of a pumpkin-y orange. You can't really tell on here. And then there's this one. And there's this one. And then there's these two that look kind of like maple leaves. One is, well, there's three of those, because there's kind of a burgundy and then a dark blue, navy blue maybe, and then this kind of beige, whatever. And then there's these two, which I love this print too. It's so teeny tiny print, but I just thought that was so cute. So I just got a half yard of each of those, thinking I've already found a pattern I like. I knew I was going to pick a pattern. To back it, I bought like 3 yards of, it's muslin, so it's just like plain beige muslin, but I thought that that would be perfect for the back of it, because this kind of looks like, you know, retro fabric, and you know, I kind of like the retro looking. It's kind of 1880s maybe. I actually have some fabric that is called 1880s or 1870s that I bought a long time ago, and I haven't made anything out of. And that's the problem. I buy fabric and I don't make stuff out of it. Not for lack of wanting to, but you know, I mean, life, and it's time consuming to cut out little pieces, and it's time consuming to sew them back together. The fastest part of the process for me is putting the quilt on the frame, quilting it, and then sewing the binding on. And then the last part that takes forever is hand sewing the binding on the back of the quilt, because you know, you machine sew your binding and then you fold it over and you hand sew this part. Now this didn't take long at all because it's a baby quilt. But the big quilts, like my husband's quilt, probably 3 evenings in the chair hand sewing all the binding on. So there's that. I think that's all I have to say. And oh my goodness, I have an almost 30-minute video, which is insane because I haven't been making long videos. Sorry it's been so long. That was my birthday trip. You know, my husband wanted to go play golf for his birthday. I wanted to go buy quilt fabric. So he very nicely took me to the Cotton Cottage and I bought quilt fabric. And while I was at the Cotton Cottage, the lady said, oh, this will make a really pretty quilt. And I said, yeah, if I ever put down my knitting needles or crochet long enough to make it. She says, oh, well, here. And she hands me this business card. There is a new local yarn shop in Claremore called Community Fibers. I have not been. Okay, well, I take that back. I went one day when I was extra early for work. I went by there and there was a note on the door that said they'd be back at 2:45. Well, it was already 10 till 3 and I sat there until 10 after and no one ever showed up. So, I mean, I'm sure the lady that owns the shop, I mean, from reading her bio and stuff, it's just her right now because it's a new business. And so I don't hold it against her that she had things she needed to do, so she had to go away from the shop because I'm sure it's at that time of day it may not be very busy. I was disappointed because I wanted to go in and see what kind of yarn she had. Now, do I need more yarn? We always need more yarn, don't we? Whatever the case may be, it's not like I won't go back, right? She does open knit night, knitting or crocheting. You can either bring it with you from 6 to 8 on Wednesday evenings, or you can knit or crochet a blanket or a hat for they have a project. They do charity projects, and right now it's for babies. I believe babies that don't make it out of the NICU, that pass away. And so they make things like that. And so they're doing that right now. She does beginner knitting classes, beginner crochet classes. I think she has a spinning wheel class coming up. She's got, I think, some kind of felting class. I know she has some kind of kids class coming up. Anyway, if you live near Claremore, Oklahoma, go check out Community Fibers. She has a Facebook page. Check it out on Facebook. I will link it below. You know my MO. I make my video and it takes all night long to upload because our internet is so bad and so slow. So tomorrow sometime I will link all of the patterns and the yarns that are still available, that aren't just yarns that I pull out of my stash that are so old they don't make them anymore, and things like that. Anything I can link, I will link below in the description. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Remember that Jesus loves you, and so do I, and that's what it's about, loving one another. I am pro-love. Pro-love. Bye, guys.